These two Plymouth sisters with a love for animals and a vivid memory of Hurricane Katrina. On this 10th anniversary, how they managed to give rescued pets a happy home. Plus,
the mascot is the hawk, because the robin is precious little robin, and we really wanted a bird of prey that could rip it to shreds.
A reunion and celebration born out of a school split. But first, the sale of an iconic brand. Why General Mills is selling off the Jolly Green Giant. 12 News starts right now.
We will have those stories in just a moment, but first, Brooklyn Center police are releasing descriptions of two men responsible for a home invasion shooting last week.
Now, police released composite sketches of two of the four men involved. Police say they broke into a home on Drew Avenue at 3:15 in the morning and shot four people who lived there before fleeing. All four suffered non-life-threatening injuries. The men are described as black males in their early 20s. One was called Blood, another was referred to as Big Homie. There's a $5,000 reward for information. Police say the men fled the scene northbound on nearby Highway 100 in a silver four-door sedan.
New Hope police are asking for the public's help in a missing persons case. Noor Keenan was last seen Tuesday leaving his home for a walk in the 5500 block of Boone Avenue. Keenan has health issues and authorities are concerned for his well-being. Keenan is 22 years old, 5 feet 8 inches tall, and weighs 165 pounds. Police say he may be wearing sweatpants, a t-shirt, and sandals. Anyone with information is urged to contact New Hope police. General Mills is saying goodbye to the Jolly Green Giant.
The Golden Valley Company is selling its Green Giant and Le Sueur vegetable businesses. And Eric Nelson has more on what the sale means for the company. Eric?
Yes, Alex and Mike, the Jolly Green Giant is as much a part of Minnesota as lakes and loons. But soon the Giant will be controlled by an East Coast company. Golden Valley-based General Mills announced today that it is selling Green Giant to New Jersey-based B&G Foods for $765 million in cash. Green Giant had been struggling in a slow-growth food market.
Ho, ho, ho. Green Giant.
Campbell's Soup struggling, Kellogg cereal, General Mills cereal. These people used to grow at 8-9% a year. Now you're lucky if you can get 1 or 2%. There are pockets of growth, and they're all looking for those pockets.
General Mills, of course, is a multi-billion-dollar company, and Green Giant was just a small chunk of its business. Green Giant is steeped in Minnesota tradition. Their roots date back to 1903 in Le Sueur, Minnesota. Green Giant was bought by Pillsbury in 1979, then by General Mills in 2001. Green Giant's hallmark is canned and frozen veggies. For decades, the Jolly Green Giant has been an iconic symbol in Minnesota and across the globe. U of M marketing professor George John says consumers won't notice a lot of change in Green Giant food, and the familiar jingle probably won't go away either.
The people that buy it, B&G, what are they buying? They're basically buying a brand name.
Right.
Okay? You can get anybody to can your broccoli and your peas for you. So the brand name is going to stay on the package. So instead of having a small General Mills thing somewhere on that package, you'll find a little B&G thing in the package.
And B&G already produces 40 food products, including cream of rice, cream of wheat, Mrs. Dash, and Ortega. They are a smaller company that makes money off of smaller brands. Mike and Alex?
All right, thank you, Eric. Well, this time 10 years ago, New Orleans was covered in floodwaters from Hurricane Katrina.
Volunteers from our area were there too, helping with the recovery effort. Reporter Shannon Slatton shares how one pair of sisters used the experience to later open up a nonprofit in Plymouth.
We let them out during our open hours.
There's an open cage policy at the Adopt a Pet shop in Plymouth.
We try to make it as home-like for them as possible.
One that matches the open hearts of the founders, sisters Stephanie and Sherry Timberlake.
Our dream was to put together something smaller scale like this after working with so many adoption centers where the cats wouldn't be in confined spaces all the time.
The sisters wanted to bridge the gap between rescued animals and happy homes.
We're like a combination adoption center, rescue group, veterinary clinic, boarding facility, a little bit of everything.
Everything, yeah.
They discovered this gap after volunteering to rehabilitate rescued animals following Hurricane Katrina.
So when they needed help with Katrina, We went down to Katrina. At the time that we did it, this was not in the plans.
They say they didn't think twice, but loaded up a car and drove to Mississippi ready to help.
We bought a tent and pitched our first tent that night that we arrived in the dark.
Stephanie and Sherry spent long hours rehabilitating sick animals.
You're kind of immersed in a disaster situation where it's overwhelming.
It's very different when you're there. It's like the whole world stops.
There they saw their share of reunions and heartbreak.
It got very challenging because we're all just trying to do our level best just to save everybody's lives, but these guys had to go somewhere.
The sisters say Katrina changed their lives.
What we did after Katrina, after we worked with other groups, we found that we could help this way.
So they opened the Adopt a Pet shop in 2011.
They get braver.
Where they can rehabilitate cats until they are adopted.
As soon as we pull 20, 25 animals into here and they can live here, that just opened up 20 to 25 more foster homes for our rescue groups.
Here they know the story of every cat.
You fall in love with them.
And work to give that cat story a happy ending.
The first step is rescuing them, per se, pulling them off the street, nursing them back to health if they're sick, whatever. But the hardest part is then finding forever homes. There's so many.
In Plymouth, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
Those traveling this Labor Day weekend will be in for a reprieve at the gas pump. AAA says gas prices nationwide are the lowest heading into the holiday since 2004. Across the Twin Cities, prices were averaging $2.40 a gallon. That's 20 cents less than a month ago. In the Northwest Metro, we saw gas selling for $2.21 a gallon at the Maple Grove Costco. AAA predicts prices to go even lower as stations switch to less costly winter blend gasoline.
North Hennepin Community College's new Bioscience and Health Careers Center has new art to inspire students and the community.
What I did was invite the community to contribute words in about a month-and-a-half long process, and so these are all collected from faculty and students at the college.
That's Arizona artist Blessing Hancock with her piece titled In Affinities. The 8 polycarbonate panels feature more than 100 words and phrases that faculty and students submitted relating to health, biology, and chemistry. It's on a bypassing track so people can actually slide the panels to create new associations. A dedication for the art was held today, and the piece was funded through a state program encouraging art in public spaces. The panels can be seen along 85th Avenue as you drive by the college, and the artist hopes the whole community will enjoy it.
I guess I would hope it makes them understand that contemporary art can involve math and science. It can involve the community. It's not just something that you go to a gallery to see, but it's in your public space.
And the artist is also working on a project for Nicollet Mall in Minneapolis. Coming up, a high school class reunion that has 50 years of history.
And then later in sports, Hopkins and Breck battle in a good girls tennis matchup. We'll have the highlights.
But first, summer certainly isn't over, and we could notch our 5th 90-degree day of the year on Friday.
It has been 50 years since the first Cooper Hawks graduated from Cooper High School.
Later this month, hundreds of graduates are expected to take part in a 10-day-long all-class reunion that culminates the weekend of September 26th. It's all part of the school's golden anniversary. One brushstroke at a time, volunteers are working to show off the burnt orange and navy blue as an expected 1,500 Hawks return to the Northwest Metro to remember their school days.
It's an all-class party. It's Cooper's first all-class party.
Cooper High School was built in 1964 to accommodate increasing enrollment. It was the first time a suburban school district had built a second high school. In that first year, it also held classes for kindergarten students like Heidi Myers.
It was quite the experience to go and use the restroom and see the big girls applying makeup. Now remember, this is 1964, 65. Many girls weren't allowed to wear makeup. They got to school and out came the makeup.
Suzanne Kelly, who was in Cooper's first graduating class, remembers being split apart from her friends at Robbinsdale High School and how that made the hawk their mascot.
So we loved that robin. It was chubby and it was cute, but we wanted a bird of prey that could rip it apart. If we had to be separate, then we were going to win.
It's a labor of love and memories as Cooper graduates dig through the archives for memorabilia to put on display. And they hope classmates will find it meaningful.
I think let kids, especially with our more transient school community now, let them know that there are people who support them and care about them, and just because we're out of school doesn't mean that we no longer care about education.
There will be a service of reflection and remembrance, but there will also be fun.
The big event during this Pep Fest will be the cheerleader and dance lines rendition of Go You Chicken Fat Go.
And if you spent any time there over the past 50 years, you're likely to recall this.
Wave the flag for Cooper High School, show them how we stand. Don't use that. Okay. No.
You'll never forget that. For information on times and events of the Cooper All-Class Reunion, you can check their website at cooper.classquest.com. And they're going to have some fun.
You got her to sing the school song. Love it.
Still ahead, a Robbinsdale couple's backyard retreat.
But first, the Wayzata football team prepares for a big showdown with Prior Lake. John Jacobson has a preview up next in sports.
After a disappointing 3-win season in 2014, the Wayzata football team is off to a quick 2-0 start this year. The Trojans will get their biggest test so far come Friday night. The 5th-ranked Trojans travel south to face 4th-ranked Prior Lake. Wayzata's been impressive in lopsided wins over Blaine and Shakopee. So the question is Wayzata back?
I'm saying it. I know our guys are saying it. We're pumped. We're ready to show the state that we are back. And I mean, we have a very good opponent this week, and we respect them a lot. So we're trying to show everyone that we are back.
I think we never left. We've been here the whole time. I mean, last year we made a few mistakes, but we're still here.
Prior Lake is a program on the rise. They reached the state playoffs last fall, losing a hard-fought battle with Maple Grove in the 6A quarterfinals. Wayzata knows it'll be a good test.
Watching Prior Lake reminds me a lot of Eden Prairie. While there might not be the same way as far as all their schemes, you know, how they're constructed is very similar to how Eden Prairie's put together their program. You know, they have a very sound running game. They're a man-based blocking program, a lot of wing T principles, and then they like to play action off of that.
Set. Unlike many games this Labor Day weekend, Wayzata Prior Lake is Friday night at 7 at Prior Lake. After starting out with 2 non-conference losses, the Armstrong girls soccer team opened Northwest Suburban Conference play by beating Maple Grove Tuesday. They look to make it 2 in a row as they played at Osseo Wednesday. Armstrong's Maggie Spellman dribbles up the right side and then crosses the ball to Haley Hansen for the redirect goal as the Falcons get on the board. Spellman gets another assist. She'll send it ahead to Mariah Haberly, who traps it down, then volleys it over the keeper's head. Nice goal for the high-scoring senior, and the Falcons grab a 2-0 lead over the Orioles. Off a throw-in, Haberly strikes again. She'll unleash a rocket with her left foot that's too hot to handle, and Armstrong goes up by a 3-0 score in the first half. Osseo gets some scoring chances late in the half. Off a free kick, the header looks like it's going in, but Ana Aguado tips it over the crossbar. Armstrong wins a high-scoring game 6-2 over Osseo. It's the second week of matches in girls tennis. Both Hopkins and Breck have built strong programs through the years, and the two teams met in a non-conference match. Number one's doubles, Grace Zumwinkle, Lauren Kozakowski in the near court for Breck, Elena Hallman and Nikki Hadley for Hopkins. Hallman with the overhead winner here for the Royals. And then Kozakowski will get the drop volley winner for the Mustangs as they win in straight sets. One singles play here. It's Maddie Sook for Hopkins, Kendall Kozakowski for Breck. Sook with the winner, and later in the set, she'll get a backhand winner and take the match 6-2, 6-2. At number 2 singles, Anna Zumwinkle for Breck, Rachel Kelly for Hopkins. Kelly aggressive on the short for the forehand winner. And Kelly will come to the net for a volley winner, and she'll win in straight sets. Fourth singles is a tight match as Breck Sophia Martin pulls out a 3-set win over Hopkins' Carly Wolpert. Breck sweeps the doubles play, though, and they win the match over Hopkins 4-3. Days on the lake are beginning to wane for this summer. Terry Tuma tells us what to look for when gauging your chances for fishing success. Here's this week's Channel 12 fishing tip.
I'm sure in the past you've heard me talk about the signs of Mother Nature to help us tell or identify what type of an activity level that these fish are going to be in. Are they going to be positive, neutral, or negative fish? And Mother Nature's signs, sunfish just nipping at plastics, for instance, maybe Texas rigging or whatever it is, wacky worms as I have here, maybe fishing for walleyes with a jig and they're just nicking the minnow. That's when we sometimes want to use stinger hooks and so forth. So that's the signs. And besides the sunfish eating plastics and so forth, activity level of geese on a lake that has carp rolling on the surface or jumping on the surface. You can go on and on, even deer feeding or loon activity on the lake. These are all signs of aggressive or neutral bites going to take place. And also too, we have to match the moods. As I mentioned, we had a very severe cold front that came through, and it was definitely a wacky worm, but with the wacky worm, I had to leave it lay on the bottom, not even move it, and that's when these bass would pick it up. Many times you don't catch big bass in this, but this morning I got two very, very nice sized bass. So here again, it's just taking heed of what Mother Nature offers. It's going to help us tremendously in catching any species of fish.
Thanks, Terry. Armstrong Cooper football live on Channel 12 tonight.
Thanks, John. We'll be right back.
Waterfalls and landscapes and fountains can enhance any landscape.
A Robbinsdale couple uses water features as the focal point of their backyard. Reporter Sonia Goins goes in the garden to show us their backyard retreat.
People come all the time. We barbecue here twice a week.
Who wouldn't want to stop by Chander and Jerry Mata's house? Their Robbinsdale backyard is really a sight to see.
Very peaceful. We have flowers here, vegetable over there.
3 separate water fountains bring a sense of serenity.
The sound of the water is so peaceful, soothing.
The waterfalls are surrounded by native ground cover and a variety of perennials.
We have canna lily, and then we have phlox. I put in several bushes this year, the hydrangea.
Hostas cover a shady area under a tree, while the sunny side of the yard is reserved for the vegetable garden.
Can you imagine how many zucchini bread are going to come from here?
The Matas are growing tomatoes, cucumbers, and several other vegetables, including eggplant from India.
It tastes different.
What does it taste like?
Tastes like eggplant, but a little different texture.
The family spends about 30 minutes a day pulling weeds and watering. They use old grass clippings to cut down on some of the work.
Instead of throwing it away, I spread it in my garden, and then the weeds won't grow.
While this has been a great gardening season, the Matas say their bountiful garden comes from a higher power.
God's word says, give it shall be given unto you. He multiplies, and that's the secret.
For In the Garden, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
The family also has several apple, pear, and cherry trees. They give a lot of their fruits and vegetables away to family and friends. We should give out the address at Channel 12 and Breck, drop over those some zucchini
this
bread.
Big.
That's right.
It's bigger than Terry's fish. That's right.
That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Community Corner is coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow.